Welcome all in class 19 on electromagnetic theory. So in this class we will calculate the expression of torque experienced by a current carrying loop placed in a magnetic field. So whenever a current carrying closed loop is placed in a magnetic field, the closed loop experiences a torque, and due to this torque experienced by closed loop, there happens rotational motion of the closed loop. So in order to calculate the expression of torque experienced by a current carrying closed loop in a magnetic field, let us suppose consider a closed loop with radius r and carrying current I. Now this current carrying closed loop is placed in magnetic field B. Now magnetic field B can be divided into two parts. One is perpendicular to the plane of loop and second parallel to the plane of loop. So here B perpendicular is component of magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of the loop, and B parallel is component of magnetic field parallel to the plane of loop. So first we are analyzing the effect of perpendicular component of magnetic field on the loop. So let us suppose in the slide we are representing the perpendicular component of magnetic field which is in a direction perpendicular to the plane of loop carrying current I. So in order to investigate the effect of perpendicular component of magnetic field, we are considering 2 points on the loop. These points are point A and point B, and we are calculating the force, that is the magnetic force on point A and on point B by using Fleming right hand rule. So by using Fleming right hand rule, if we calculate the direction of forces on point A and on point B, it will be observed that the direction of forces are in opposite direction because the direction of current at point A and B are in opposite direction. That is, the direction of force at point A and B is opposite. That is, the effect of perpendicular component of magnetic field is to expand the loop. If direction of magnetic field is reversed or direction of current is reversed, then from the right hand thumb rule we can calculate that the effect of force will be to contract the loop. That is, effect of perpendicular component is just to expand or contract the loop. However, perpendicular component exerts no net force to move the loop, that is perpendicular component of magnetic field do not exert any torque on the loop. Now we have to analyze the effect of parallel component of magnetic field to the plane of loop. So let us consider that there is magnetic field which is parallel to the plane of loop carrying current I. So again, in order to investigate the effect of parallel component of magnetic field, let us consider again 2 points A and B and calculate the expression of magnetic force on point A and on point B again by using Fleming right hand rule. So if we apply Fleming right hand rule and calculate the direction of force at point A and B, then it will be observed that for the given direction of currents and for given direction of magnetic field B, the direction of force at point A is upward and direction of force, that is magnetic force, at point B is downward. So as there are two forces which are acting opposite to each other at 2 points, so there will be a net torque on the loop, and this torque on the loop will try to rotate the loop. So the effect of parallel component is exerting a torque on the loop, and this torque tends to rotate the loop. Now we have to calculate the expression of torque experienced by a current carrying loop placed in magnetic field. And in order to calculate the torque, first we will calculate the torque due to infinite small length, then we will integrate this length for the whole of the loop. So in order to calculate the torque on the coil, consider two infinite small current elements on the coil. Let these elements are dl1 and dl2 respectively and are located at symmetrical angle phi from a reference line. That is, this was the loop, and in order to calculate the torque experienced by the loop when placed in magnetic field B, we are considering infinite small elements dl1 and dl2 which are located at angle phi with respect to reference line as shown in the slide. Now, if dl1 or dl2 lies on the reference line, then we can say that the angle between dl1 and parallel component is 0. However, if dl1 or dl2 lies at the point as shown in the slide, then the angle between dl2 and parallel component of magnetic field is 90 degree. For any other locations in between, the angle between parallel component of magnetic field and small element dl1 or dl2 can be obtained from the trigonometric relations from the drawing as shown in the slide, and it can be found that the angle between current element ideal and parallel component of magnetic field at any location is phi. So let df1 and df2 is the magnetic force experienced by infinite small elements dl1 and dl2 respectively. If we assume that the length dl1 as well as length dl2 and these are exactly same, which is dl, then force df1 experienced on length dl1 as well as force df2 experienced by length dl2 are exactly same, because the value of magnetic field as well as length as well as location of dl1 and dl2 are exactly same. So the force experienced are exactly same. Now two forces are acting on dl1 and dl2 whose magnitude are equal but their direction are exactly opposite. Due to these two equal and opposite forces on the loop, there will be a net torque on the points at dl1 and dl2, and the expression of torque on infinite Smith length dl1 and dl2 will be the force multiplied by distance between the elements. So force between the elements is df, and the distance between the elements from here is 2m, where m is the distance from element dl1 or dl2 up to the reference line. So from the geometry we can also derive the relation between m and radius of the coil. So from the geometry we can observe that m can be specified in terms of r and phi by using m is equal to r sine of phi. So the expression of torque will become I dl b parallel component sine of phi multiplied by the distance, which is 2r sine of phi. So which can be written as 2r I dl b parallel sine phi square. Now this expression of torque again comprises of two variables, length dl and angle phi. For every location on the loop, the length dl and the location phi are variables. So we want to specify dl in terms of angle phi. So if we connect upper and lower portion of dl with the radius, let us suppose angle between these two elements radial factors is phi. So from the theorem we know that the length dl can be specified by r d phi. So the torque experienced can be written as 2 ri r d phi b parallel component sine phi square. The total torque produced by the complete coil is obtained by integrating the torque on infinite small element dl, and as the coil can be split into two parts, that is dl1 and dl2. dl2 for dl1 the angle of phi will range from 0 to pi, as well as for another half of the loop dl2 will vary from angle 0 to pi. So the total torque produced by complete coil is obtained by integrating d tau from 0 to pi, and after integrating it we obtain that torque is I pi b square into parallel component. So this was all that we want to explain in this class, or we want to discuss in this class. So thank you very much.